Today I want to focus my video on those of you that are struggling maybe with rent of $2,500, $3,000, $3,500 a month, and just recap the life that you can have here in Armenia, Colombia, leaving the struggles and the insanity of what you're living through now behind. My name is William Hutchison. My company is Armenia Colombia Realty for Expats. Add .com to that, it'll get you to our webpage with listings and our blog. I haven't been too active on the blog because I've been spending most of my time here on YouTube videos. As the thumbnail suggests, and oh, by the way, the bird in the thumbnail was photographed in Kokora Valley. It's a condor and one of the 1,900 different bird species that are in Colombia. An ornithologist, in an article I read about maybe 3 weeks ago now, stated that there was perhaps another 200 that had never been recorded. Colombia has the most bird species in the world. If you get a accommodation similar to a townhouse that backs onto a bamboo forest and you put out bird feeders, there's a couple here now that I know have bird feeders out, and they have parrots coming to the bird feeder. It's amazing. As the thumbnail suggests, the only thing different in all of the people that are contacting me now is the voice. I get a husky man's voice, I get a squeaky man's voice, I get a nice, gentle, soothing women's voice, and the stories are all the same. It's the expense and the, I don't want to say the waste of money, but when things here are, 1/5 of what you're paying there, there's just something wrong with that. Excuse me. I had a fellow call me maybe 2 months ago now, tell me that his lowest heating bill for the winter was $502. I have a gentleman now coming on July the 4th from Corpus Christi, Texas, an area now that I believe is setting heat records. The other day the heat index was 130. I think one day he told me the temperature was 117, and he can't run his air conditioning because there's a brownout. There's enough there for his lamps and I guess what you might call minor appliances, but once the system needs a big draw, it's just not there. He told me he called his sister, and in the course of the conversation told her that his electric bill for the month was $200, and she asked him why it was so low. That's insane. I'm going to do a video in probably another 4 or 5 days. Once I get my hydro bill, my bill for power, it usually runs around $30. So he's paying in 1 month what I pay in about 7. I know it's hard to believe the prices. I know it's hard to cut the ties. There's no question about that. But I think you owe it to yourself to at least do an investigation. I'm here as a contact. I will help you in any way that I can. I love to see people happy. And I think a lot of you up there that are struggling are not happy. You can't be. I mean, I don't know what it takes to live, but in my opinion, if you're in retirement, close to retirement, have maybe a little bit of equity, maybe have a little bit of pension, you're 58, 59, 60 years old, you're tired of going to the grind, and there's no guarantee that you're ever going to get to the retirement age anyway. It's just not promised to anyone. So I think it's something that you need to consider. I think you need to start considering me as opposed to everybody else that you probably considered in front of you for 40 years. I know it's selfish. I understand that. But the change in the lifestyle that you can have here, you can live a beautiful life here on $1,000 a month. There's just absolutely no question about that. Do you know here now that the banks that are more solid than most of the regional banks in the United States and the credit unions, and maybe as solid as some of the national banks, are paying 12% for a 1-year term deposit. You have $100,000, you get $12,000 in interest, and you live on $1,000 a month. You don't touch principal, you don't touch your pension. Right now, I don't have an accurate number, but I have between 25 and 30 people that are interested in going further with their investigation into Armenia. Canadians, mostly from the US now, but all over the United States, from Washington State down to Florida. I have people here right now. I have a Canadian coming in on Sunday. I have another American booked for July 4th. I have 2 tentative out, one in October and one next January. So there are people, they're in various stages of development. For example, I have to call a client tonight at 8:30 my time in Vancouver, British Columbia. That's also been advised of the advantages to living in Armenia. Once again, anything you need help with, I can help you. You give me some numbers, I'll work out exactly what it costs you. Every number that I have put up is 100% accurate. The only thing that concerns me a little bit now is that I did the monthly costs and I averaged my service expenses over the last 15 months, and I did that in April. So those numbers are stale now. But I'm still living very well in a beautiful townhouse in a gated community with a pool, all in rent, food, and services for under $800 a month. And when I look at that, and people tell me that they're paying $3,200 a month for rent, I equate that to 4 months of living expenses for me. So it's really that simple. All I can say is that I've lived here for 12 years. Coming in October, I'll be here 12 years, 13 in Colombia. You can travel the world. You will find places as good. It's to each his own, obviously. So if you want to see, you're not going to get that in Armenia. But I'm just talking about the lifestyle. You can travel the world. You might find a place as good. I guarantee you, you will find nowhere better. There is absolutely no debate about that. I've said it many times. I live in paradise. It was paradise yesterday. It was paradise 12 years ago when I came here. It might be paradise. I think it will be 12 years from now. I hope I'm around to see it. Chances are maybe a little dicey, but who knows? But I live in paradise, and you can too. It's a big decision to make. There is no question about it. But think of yourself. Think of your later years. Think of what you deserve. Think of what you've sacrificed over the years for others. Maybe it's your turn now. I think you have to look at it that way. Please subscribe. It gets the information out to more people through the YouTube algorithm. As I've said, I don't care about getting monetized on YouTube. I just want as many people to know about Armenia and what the possibilities might be for them. I think that's the service that I'm trying to provide. Again, if there's anything I can help you with, there's ways to contact me. You can do it through my webpage at the company. There's contacts here that I always leave at the bottom. Drop me a message. I will call you. There's no cost to me to make a call to North America or Mexico. Okay? Have a great day. I live in paradise. You can too.